And then when she does, she's going to introduce you to someone else special in the house.
Can he go not after me?
He can go whenever you'd like for him to go.
Someone else. Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. I like it when the mic comes pre-elevated. That's what we're going to call it, pre-elevated. So I'm glad y'all are here. I'm sure there's someone here I don't know. I know Megan now. So I didn't used to know her. So now I know there's some more of y'all I don't know. So I need to meet y'all. Hey. Alright, so when I was 21, I was in Africa. It was awesome. And I was lots of places, but there was this comet that came around in 97. So I was 21 in 97. So I'm curious who here was 21 or over in 97. Don't be afraid. Yes. Yes, really? No.
I was way over the age limit.
Holy cow.
I'm just not going to tell my age, though.
All right, I can respect that. I got to respect that. My son is here tonight, so you all have been very welcoming already. Steven is here. Yes, I have a son. Yes, he's old enough to be here, which is awesome. He's an adult. All right, so this is about the comet that came around in 1997, and I was in the desert in Africa, and I could actually look up and see it because there were no major cities around. There was sand. Lots of sand. It was amazing. And there was this cult that decided they were going to kill themselves and catch the comet. I don't know how that turned out for them in the end. I won't know for a while. Alright, but this is Hail Bob hails the end of humanity. The first time this comet came around, 8,500 years ago, the ancient sky watchers chiseled into stone their naked eye observations. On the same planet, under the same comet again, my modern pen, $1 for 10, spits rehashed passion again. There's nothing new in what it spews, only back then, the pen was a rock, hammering another rock, carving marks into the rock of a cave wall. I have nothing new to write at all, but everything back then was new to them. A rock was such an imprecise instrument, so they worked hard to carve the messages sent in the millennium of 6000 BC. Huddled together, they were nomads back then. They spent their lives in tribes by family, and they tended to all their primeval sheep, grazing goats in a wilderness sea. Nighttime, under that sky, they closed their eyes with their dream fears in the early years of the earth in a shadowy, unknown time before time. So they made the empty world their home and entertained themselves by the twilight arc and the soaring larks against the changing light on the projection screen scene of blooming night. In a country where I have countless rights, rejecting the existence of gravity as one. I can choose to conclude I am God if I want, as if I could create a pulsing sun. My glasses cage my eyes, so I, born free, choose to feel the first steps down. Got all I need in myself to find my own way. In the end times, knowledge will increase, but wisdom itself will fade away. 10 steps take me through the hall. I trust my hands along the walls. Yes, I have faith, but I know my own way, so I'll be praising myself while I blindly pace. For we are all gods in our own minds. Though somehow I'm presenting an alternative to your alternative. Bite your tail and you bite mine, and we argue our beliefs in an endless circle. See, I'm telling you what I believe because I have the mic. But I would never ask you to agree. Knowing can change how another sees. Longitude and latitude net the earth. And even the unknown is already owned by businessmen and their governments. To them, the rest of humanity just infests the planet, but someone has to manage the masses. They make sure we're organized, categorized, institutionalized, and chastised. Okay. They medicate, incarcerate, interfere church with state, berate us when we reject what's accepted, feed the schools to the fools, and teach my kids to follow their rules.
There you go.
Wow.
Go ahead, girl. See, even the powerful are blind when the blinds are sealed. And even the religious thugs are just bugs like us, fighting each other for crumbs in the dust. You may think you're a bigger man than me, but you're living in spiritual poverty. What good is it to gain the whole world and lose your soul in the process? And to the powerful, it's every man for himself. So only the strong will feed without fear. The screams of the weak in their unhearing ears. Evil is running rampant on the earth. For decades, food donations have sat on runways. Local militias take control and feed their own while the village babies starve. This is how much we hate each other. Make no mistake, ignoring suffering is the same as hating your brother. And you are at fault if you are capable of ignoring your neighbor's hunger pains. Now, let me tell you who the straw man is I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, Redeemer Presbyterian Church of Evans, Georgia, the place where we spent 2 years tithing. You ignored my phone calls when my husband was deployed. Hell, you ignored his phone calls when he was deployed. And he was emergency calling from Iraq. For your money, some people will do anything. And some people will find you useful for nothing. See, I had to go to the emergency room. And I wouldn't go to the emergency room if I didn't have to go to the emergency room. And I needed someone to watch my kids. My husband was deployed. I had been in Augusta for 9 months and still had no friends. Felt new in town, and all I had was a church. The elder's wife said to me, "You have to toughen up." And apparently that was the consensus, because everybody that day said no to watching my kids. But they said it with kisses from their hearts to their Judas lips. Wow. Eventually, a military family I had never met took my kids overnight. Because that's what military people do. And that's what I would have done for any one of you. People, church people who never said shit to me, though God knows I tried befriending you. You sat in the pew all rich and white and pretty because God had rewarded your righteousness with lives so damn perfect that my suffering was an obvious sign of sin.
Yes.
With which you didn't want to contaminate your new $2 million building. And God and Christ are in heaven saying, and as much as you've not cared for the least of my people, you've not cared for me. As much as you've not cared for the least of my people, you have not cared for me. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. Both awareness of suffering and apathy toward suffering were predicted to increase in these end times. And I predict this comet, Hale-Bopp, circling every 4,000 years, will never again get the chance to come near. So much awareness at the end of humanity, yet we're still so blind to each other's needs. You sat there so proudly in your comfy church seat, but in the same body, there can't be both suffering and peace. How much more aware can we become, walking by the weak and worshiping some? So many blind babies wailing for a breast, but never finding, never finding. Thank you.
Wow.
I ain't even signed up for this, but they gonna make me do something.
That's my first time hearing that piece.
Yes.
Yeah. How many pages was that? How do you... Curiosity, really? How many pages was that, Catherine? 6? Boy. Sponge like mine. Sponge like. Okay.